Hello, good day to you all, and welcome to our Youth Impact Parliament 2022 year review. With me here, I'm Jones Amagati, the Speaker of Parliament. With me here, I have Mr. Amano David Honorable Amano David Youth MP for Ingo Pram Pram, who is equally the majority leader of government business. And I also have with me here Honorable Brycelon Vixen, Youth MP for Hawkware, and the first Deputy Minority Whip. So I think it's going to be a fair review from the neutral side, one for majority and one for minority. So for this review, it's been done on the same day with the annual general meeting of Youth Impact Movement. But this is for us to have a clear review of the year before the general meeting. So we'll be speaking on the first parliament in general, which is from 2022, the second parliament so far, the speaker and his deputy speakers, the clerks and marshals, the majority leadership, the minority leadership, the chairpersons and ranking members of all committees, standing committees specifically, select committees specifically, attendance of youth MPs and members of the House and observers, speaking on floor of parliament and debates so far held, and publicizing our activities. These are the 12 points that we'll be speaking on. So, Amano, how are you? How are you?
Oh, I'm not fine.
Okay. No problem. Honorable,
If probably you can get some few chicken box of cartons of chicken and some 50-kilo rice and some cooking oil and stuff, and you share to us whilst we proceed to the Christmas on Sunday, it will not be a bad idea at all. So to me, to make me find it, that is what I request for. Probably Vixen is fine. Maybe they have given him one carton of chicken and some palm wine at his workplace. I don't know. Me, I've not been given anything of such.
well, we'll hear from Vixen and see if he's equally fine in the proposed vision that the honorable majority leader spoke of. Honorable Vixen, let's hear from you. How are you? Honorable Vixen, let's hear from you.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
So I said the other one is because I have life. The other one is because I don't have food to eat. I know that was since last week. We have not read the manuals. Have not been in your good books. We are taking some of the children special and some I don't know. Until then, you will not be fine. So as a father, I need to do the need so that you keep us going.
Well, when we get to the debate side, talking about speaking of law, I will allow the first deputy minority chief whip to elaborate on the said allegation he has made us the speaker. For now, he's just an non-official, who will not mind you. But when we get on floor, we do. Okay, so let's start with our first area of review. The first area of review is basically the first parliament 2022 to August. That was the second session of the first parliament. And in reviewing the entire parliamentary initiative, we are looking at the first parliament. So let's first hear from the majority leader. What's your review on the first parliament of youth parliament from 2022, January to August 2?
Okay, so far so good. The first parliament, as we all know, was used to lay down the foundation that we are currently sitting on in the second parliament. The first parliament, unlike the second parliament that has constituency representative, the first parliament didn't have. So we're having the issues of numbers, as in the exact number of MPs we have in the first parliament. The first parliament also saw some exciting events, such as the first anniversary special sitting, which saw the presence of Honorable James Etonam Flolu, DCE for Fajatu South, the regional director for National Youth Authority. We also saw the presence of former MP for whole Central constituency in the person of Honorable Captain Infojo. We also saw the presence of uh, one of the pastors of what's the name of the church? I forgot. Paradise International. We saw all those exciting figures giving us the limelight about how things should be done within the youth space, most especially our guest of honor for that particular occasion, Honorable James Etonam Flulu, for giving us more insight about his work and charging us to take upon ourselves the leadership role and do it seriously. In ending up the first parliament, we were of the argument that the second parliament should pave way for constituency representatives. So we put together the constituencies as in 18 in Volta, 8 in OT, 33 in Greater Accra, and I've forgotten the number in the Eastern region, all summing up to make 96 constituencies. 90, 93, right? Yeah, my math. Hey, my math. Wow. 93 constituency in all. It was exciting. The debates were all good. It gives us more opportunity to learn from each other. As at that particular material time, we were acting majority and minority leader. Those the sittings were not holding gravity as it is currently in the second parliament. But so far so good. It's nice. It gave us the opportunity to lay the foundations that the second parliament is sitting on currently. So far so good.
Thank you very much. That's from the majority side. Let's hear from the minority side. Honorable Bright Selon Vixen. Review of the first parliament. Yes, Honorable Vixen, let's hear from you. Unmute yourself and speak to us. We are live on Youth Impact Parliament YouTube page. Yes. No.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Let me.
Okay, so thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and us. Mr. Speaker, I has alluded to all what I wanted to say, but except to say that giving back from the first parliament to the second parliament has given us a clear distinct on what we did in the first parliament and what we did in the second parliament. It's a clear distinct that we're on the right path. So like I said, I'm all on this. So going forward, move for them.
Okay, thank you very much. For me, the first parliament of Youth Impact Parliament. Yes, I've unmuted. The first parliament. There is yes. So when you are done speaking, you unmute yourself so that my network is gone. Okay. Sure. So the first parliament of Youth Impact Parliament, as you might say, it was more than a testing. The first side. On the first side, and actually, if we tell you that we have spent a lot for the first parliament, you'll be shocked because most of them we didn't even have our roofs. But at the end, the MPs were not. Well, there was no definite number of MPs because we didn't have a full database of MPs. So we learned our lessons from there. The committee system was not even working. So we learned our lessons from there and we corrected all our issues when starting the second parliament. So I think that exactly zooms us to the second parliament. So the second parliament, we're now in the second parliament. What exactly do we think about it? Yes. Vic, I think you can just come to me. Let's just use this screen. So come, Vic. Is your microphone working? Okay, so Vixen, let's hear from you first. The second parliament. A review of the second parliament so far. You have not muted.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes. We can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, we got the second parliament. From my perspective, it was a very fantastic second parliament, especially during the debating time where members will be allowed to express their views. Of course, everybody is entitled to his or her own opinion. By the end of the day, we all have to come to a conclusive agreement so that there will not be any despair or dismay in the house. So, first of all, I thank you for also conducting the house very well. And we hope that at the end of the day or going forward, you will just pay attention to one side of your kids and leave the other side of it. So, we just hope that going to the third parliament, will carry all of us along without leaving anyone at the back. Thank you very much.
Oh, when we get to the details of the review, actually the other 10 points would basically scrutinize what they are trying to say. So, majority leader is the microphone. Okay, let's hear from you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker in the House. Mr. Speaker, you see, when you talk about diabolism, the minority, there's that definition for diabolism. How can we just go into the third part? We have not even transitioned into the second session yet. You are telling us, but because of what's the name, diabolism, they are already in the third parliament. But anyway, I don't know who is the speaker of the third parliament, though. But we are still in the second parliament. That just by the way, the second parliament is fun. It has given us the opportunity to mimic the national space parliamentary system within the second parliament, such that majority of the committees kind of are functional, not to the exact how they are to perform as it does at the national level, if for nothing at all. I must say that some committees are very prudent as far as their work is concerned. Example like the business committee and the privileges committee. The business committee had been in charge of all the businesses and coming up with the motions for all the sittings that we have held so far. The Privileges Committee recently held their meeting to discuss the 29 MPs that were referred to their committees by virtue of them not attending a number of sittings. We realized that they came up with their report recommending that we should put out 28 MPs and keep one as they've recommended. So, kind of, the second parliament is giving us more limelight on how things are done. Again, in the second parliament, we had Honorable Kofi Ato, who happens to be the special advisor or special aide to the current Right Honorable Speaker, Aban Bagwin, that is Ghana's Speaker, in Parliament during our second sitting of this particular second Parliament. He has given us some few limelight on how Parliament began and how Parliament works. And he had promised that he will come back if he should have time to teach us more. We also had Dr. Harrison teaching us about how Parliament works via the virtual leadership seminar. So basically, the second Parliament is exciting. It is giving us more opportunity to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Such that right currently we are now operating the full parliamentary system whereby the majority and the minority side are there, having ranking members and chairpersons of various committees. Unlike in the first parliament, we didn't have that particular structure. So currently, about 65% of the entire membership of parliament are playing leadership roles. It's very important. That's why I always tell the members at any least opportunity I get, this is a learning process. And I always tell us that we should take it upon ourselves to learn because maybe not all of us are going to end what we are doing here. Some of us would like it to take it into the future. And when we take it into the future, what is being done in Parliament is not so different from what we do here. Just that ours is for the learning process and theirs is for the well-being of Ghana and the development of the country as a whole. So let's just take it upon ourselves. Maybe somebody will say that we just debate normal motions in Parliament. Yes, ours is for the learning process, such that when we get opportunity in the National Space Parliament, we can just pick what we've learned from our youth parliament and add what will be taught in the National Space Parliament for the development of Ghana. And I will all see that the work will become very easy. It's very important. That's why I've been calling MPs every now and then that we should take it serious. And you see, in the second parliament too, now we've zoomed into full parliament, such that we are having roles for all our parliamentary officers, from speakers to the deputies to all the clerks. We are having such for the minority leaders and then the majority leaders, as well as the marshals of parliament. I'm praying that as we are zooming into the second session of the second parliament, we will be able to work on our own maize and gavel, because the gavel we have currently is of it has outlived its usefulness. It has done a very good work, but we need to replace it. And we realized that in the second parliament too, our video recordings had been on point, such that because we were able to procure for ourselves a tripod stand by sponsorship from our patrons, we have been able to secure our own tripod stand where we record our own sittings and upload it. We see that all our social media platforms, though the following and then the page interaction is not that much, it is always active and it is consistently updated with information on that particular page. I would say that probably we have some youth model parliament in Ghana whose followership and page interaction is of huge numbers than ours, but our page is always active than theirs. And I pray that as we are zooming to the second parliament and going to the future, when we hit, I mean, I know, I'm sure probably you understand when I say when we hit, probably when our parliament can work some 70% of the page. And I don't know why probably our members don't take it seriously. Because yeah. So as I was saying, I was of the argument that we have some fine public figures as our patrons, of which they are giving us the opportunities to learn. During the inauguration of the Uganda version of the Youth Import Parliament, their speaker, Right Honorable Kauki, was of the argument that he he appreciates the effort that we have made by securing these public figures as our patron, like Honorable Kofi Atto, Honorable James Ottoman Flolu, Honorable Divine Bossman, Honorable Peter Nochukote MP for Hakati. All these public figures as our patrons. Because in Uganda, their situation is not as what we have currently. So it should be much appreciated. Youth Impact Parliament is making grounds and is making gains. Though probably what we are doing here we may not see its significance currently. But I say in the future, we'll all smile and be happy that we are all members of a particular youth group that started something like this that has given birth to something huge that will be happening in the future. We have future. Probably, maybe you don't see that we have future, but to me alone, there we have future. And then to the minority, I don't know, maybe they don't see the future that we have, and then they will continue to dangle in their diabolism, whereby their leader will not come for cities. The day he will come, then he will come with arguing and be crying on us like we have done something. That's just by the way. So we'll just put it aside. Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you very much, the majority leader, for giving us a review of the second parliament. So I think I've already given my view of the second parliament, if I'm right. I think in dealing with the other 10 points, we would have a clear review of the entire thing, because all the other 10 points, speaker, deputy speakers, clerk, marshals, majority leadership, minority leadership, chairpersons, ranking members, standing committees, select committees, attendance, speaking on floor, and publicizing, would have done a full review of the entire year of YIP. So I think we'll just zoom in straight into that. Let's start with the next point, which is speaker and deputy speakers. The current speaker of the second parliament of Youth Impact Parliament is Jones Hamagashi Biglu. The first deputy speaker is Honorable Felix Wakpe Adiche, Youth MP for Afajatu South. And the second deputy speaker is Honorable Vanessa P. Sasase, Youth MP for South Tong. And then the speaker for our Uganda Youth Parliament is Right Honorable Leonardo Asime. And then the deputy speaker for Uganda Parliament is Right Honorable Kauki Wasura. So for this particular point, because the speakership is set for our Uganda Parliament, we'll take it both sides. This will be the only point that we can speak our both sides. And then 10 points to talk about the Uganda, but the others will just be the Ghanaian. So should I be the first to talk? Okay, so I'll be the first to speak on this. As a matter of fact, the speaker's job has become easier with the acquiring of all the staffs that we need for our parliamentary democracy, and then having all our records on point. As speaker, it's amazing that when you expect for a short sitting to be held, the sitting becomes times 2 of what you're expecting. When we have, I think that was the second sitting that we had, Honorable Kofi Ato, the special aide to the Right Honorable Speaker of the 8th Parliament of the 4th Republic of Ghana. When he came, that sitting was around 3 hours. And the fourth, was it I think it was the fourth sitting that we had the businessman coming. That sitting was equally like 3 hours. I think 2 hours, 3 hours. But when the last sitting that we had no one coming, amazingly, it was about getting to 5 hours. That day I really needed my deputies, because the debate alone was about an hour and more. Yeah, so the speaker, I believe we are doing a good job presiding over the house. Of course, they said minority will have their say, but majority will have their way. As speaker, I give more opportunity to people who have not spoken, and I give less opportunity to the ones who want to talk. So in that case, others will say that I'm being partial. But when you have been a speaker before, even our guest on the review, the Honorable Amano David now had been a 2-time speaker of HUSRC Parliament, and even the first deputy minority whip over here had been speaker of the Senate of the Faculty of Engineering. So he should understand the job of the speaker. Our deputy speakers are doing very well. For the record, we have ropes for them. And then at the fifth sitting, they all wore their robe. It was very, very nice. So that is it from my side. Now let's hear from the majority leader on talking on the area of speaker and deputy speakers. Majority leader, is your network okay? Let's first hear from first deputy. Let's hear from Honorable Vixen Solomon Bright. He's here with me, so you should just speak into the mic.
Okay, thank you very much, President Speaker. Yeah, with regard to yourself and your deputy speakers. With regard to yourself and your deputy speakers, I think you have demonstrated some kind of momentous women in the house when it comes to coordinating, except that we are a human institution. Nobody is perfect. So I don't subscribe to you being 100% correct. There are some few things that going forward your deputy speakers have taken, especially your second. Even though she belongs to the minority party, she's been thrown to the house. And when that happens, the common goal that each and every one of us want to achieve, that will enable us to know how to gather the confidence, the moment to stand in front of the public to speak will not be there. But if I be in the position and leave it in the back, doesn't speak well, especially she. So I don't know how you do so that she will be punctual and conference. Even as is now, as a second deputy speaker, the meeting that we are holding now, she is not. But I know she's aware. So I think going forward, let's try and work. It also cut across to the MPs who don't come for meeting. Let me commend you for putting the absent MPs from the house. This shows that yes, if an MP have been put out from the house, going forward, even the speaker yourself, if you should also yes, but it's a good call. It will set a precedent to those who are yet to apply to know that we are not yet to. So I think it is really
Thank you very much, Honorable Vixen. Let me first correct the fact that only the two of you have been invited for this review, although it is open for other participants. So it is not mandated for her to join this particular session. And then also, let me put it on record that she attended 3 sittings out of the 5. The 4th sitting, she took permission to go for the Gamsa Games. And then the 5th one, she was not feeling well. So she also took a permission to absent herself. But have my assurance she'll be present for the subsequent sittings in the 2nd session of the Parliament. Honorable Amano David, now let's hear your review of the Speaker and Deputy Speakers.
Keep it itself. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker and Mr. Speaker, I thank you very much. Apparently, all the speakers have been on point. The Speaker himself, Joseph Mugashi, being chief, how do I put it? Our chief foundation officer prior to all these parliamentary staffs we have on campus and the student parliament system we have in Ghana. So me, I don't have any issue as far as our speakership is concerned. I can say we have one of the best speakers as far as the youth parliament space is concerned. If not the best, no. Greatest of all time, I think we call it GOAT. But some of them made the argument that a goat is not an intelligent animal. And it's a lazy animal to No, I'm just making the argument that if it should be in that particular perspective, then our speaker is a goat. But because a goat is not an intelligent animal, we'll just say that our speaker is doing very well. And when you look at the first deputy speaker, which happens to Honorable Adeche Bakwe Felix, and being part of the majority side, we will say that the majority, we always produce the best. Adeche, who happens to be the SRC speaker for the 2nd Parliament, you could see that just from handing over from main speaker to deputy speaker, we have no issues as far as chairing is concerned, because all of them are well to do and they are already perfect for the job. They already know what they are about doing. The only issue I have is with our second deputy speaker, who is learning as time will go on. She will continue to learn, but we need her more. I don't know what is happening at the minority side. I don't know whether when their leader don't come, then probably the other members who is from their side also don't come. But yeah, she's doing her best. But I've not seen her chairing before. I can't recall her chairing a particular meeting. Probably we will need her to chair the meeting, then we can be able to appreciate and rate her whether she's doing well as far as chairing is concerned, as in chairing and holding the meeting and controlling how the debate goes on. We need to see that one from her. Then probably can be able to say whether or not her performance is good as far as that side is concerned. If it is good, we cheer up and then push her to learn more. If it is bad, we just put few things together and help her to be better than what she is today. But the speakers top notch. That one there. No debate about that. I don't know to the minorities that probably minorities having a different view, but me, top notch. Probably their leader who is not here, who have sent his minority chief whip to come and speak on his behalf. I don't know. But me myself, the majority leader, I'm here. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Okay, with the Ugandan Parliament, I like the seriousness of the Uganda speaker, because every now and then you realize that though the way we have our version here where we meet in physical, theirs is mostly virtual. He always fights to put, and then you see the commitment in him. Though not everybody has witnessed his sharing before, just myself and yourself, and then there's some few other people. He has just chaired one sitting, and we have just started. So with the Uganda speaker, we can't say much about him for now. We pray that as we go through the pilot system, he will learn from the Uganda system of parliament. We'll complement it with our Ghanaian system of parliament, with the culture that we have adopted for youth impact parliament. And I'm sure at the end of the day, we'll be fine. And then he will also be fine. So that's just by the way.
Okay, fantastic. Clerks and marshal and deputy marshals. We have the clerk department to be Ms. Frederica Kwache Jima. The deputy clerk operations is Ms. Grace Papali and Adam clerk publicity as Mr. Kelly Amelo. The marshal is Mr. Enoch Najo. And then the two deputy marshals are Mr. Paul Tutu and Mr. Nestor Nosti. Honorable Vixen Raxella, a review of the clerks and deputy clerks.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. So talking about the clerks and the deputy clerks, I think they will be on top of their job. And I must commend them for putting through that.
So, like I was saying, the clerks are on top of their job, especially being the parliament itself is a house of record keeping. So we cannot afford to lose any archives since they are the beholder of that particular office. I think I must commend them for the second time, and I urge them to do more of that. Speaker, I don't know whether today you watched my status. I was praising one of the clerks. She's the clerk of the year. So that should tell you that they're on top of their job. So going for all of them to learn as well, and then keep the archive very safe. So that since we are dealing with the house of record keeping. So that's all I can say about them. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's hear from Mr. Amano David now on the clerks marshals. Okay.
Oh, okay, so thank you very much. You talk about the marshals. I think the marshals also have been on top of their job, because you standing and guiding the MPs over there, it's not as though they've gone to or police training together, but they are devoting their time in training. It's not everybody that can do that, but they understand and see the vision of what they are doing. So the only thing I'll say is that God keep you going to do what you do, but at the end, we all get to the proper thing.
Okay. Amano, let's hear from you.
Okay, so with our clerks, and we have, as I said earlier, we have one of the best clerks as far as our parliament is concerned. Doing the clerk work in parliament is not just by writing and listening to what MPs are saying and recording it for our official reports and votes and proceedings, but also taking it upon yourself and having diverse ways of putting up all those things together. And you realize that our deputy clerk operations, who happens to be the clerk for the third parliament of the SLC, is bringing that knowledge from that particular space into using board parliament and making the work very easy. So you realize that in the first parliament, where the clerk table was not having consistent, like, main clerks, we had no votes and proceedings and official report. I realized that in the second parliament, with the introduction of our clerks, the main clerk, which Ferika Kwachijima, who is a second management student, as well as deputy clerk operations, Honorable Grace Fafa Agbayi, who also happens to be a second manager. So you could realize that these two main people control the clerk table, so that at the end of the day, from our third sitting, we had vote and proceedings and official report. So our clerks are doing very well. The only issue I have is our deputy clerk finance, which happens to be Honorable Adams, Honor Adams. Participation and commitment is not what is not too much good to talk about, because after the inauguration of the second parliament, we have not seen her in parliament. So every now and then, somebody ought to act in her absence. So I'll put a question. Probably she knows that the workload and what she has doing outside is too much. She should just make it known to the leadership of parliament so that we can relieve her of her post and get another person. But generally, they are doing well. Most especially the new clerk that has been sworn in to replace what's the name? The old clerk, which is happening to be Honorable Cyril Amebo, right? Yeah, Honorable Cyril Amebo. He's doing very well as the clerk, acting in the absence of the main clerk and the deputy clerk operations. So our clerk table is doing great work. Looking at the marshal, the marshals are doing very well. Honorable Enoch Nyajo is doing very well, handling our camera and ensuring that the whole house is in decorum as far as sitting is concerned. It's all good. They are doing very well. And I would just encourage them that going to the second session and in the second parliament, they will carry the same commitment into the second session, as well as make sure that they put in more to make use in parliament as we want it to be like. So, Mr. Speaker, I thank you very much for the opportunity.
Yes, thank you very much, the majority leader, for speaking on that thematic area. I think for me, as speaker, what I look out for is that there is always persons at the clerk's table, and you can tell for the record that all votes and proceedings and official reports have been presented for all the sittings except the current one that will be presented at the first sitting of the second session. They are doing well. And then the marshals are mostly in the background working on the camera and security. Yeah, all of them have been committed. It's just sad that none of them have been able to attend all 5 sittings, but at least the clerk and deputy clerk operations have attended all the first 3 sittings. Honorable Cyril, who became deputy clerk, he only missed the first sitting. But at the end, he was able to attend all the other 4 sittings. Yes, and then the marshal himself, just not for some duties, would have been around. They're coming a little bit one by one, but I think they have all done very well. So let's move to the next area. The next area is majority leadership. I think before the majority leader speaks on his own caucus, let's hear from Honorable Vixen, who is their counterpart in that area, the minority side. Whatever point you have to hit them in the review, give it to them right now. And then when we get to their side, they'll be the first to speak. So Honorable Vixen, First Deputy Minority Whip, UFMP for Hohwe. Let's hear from you on the majority leadership. The majority leadership consists of Honorable Amanodina, UFMP for Ningo Prampram as majority leader, Honorable Selom Agbabo, UFMP for Keta as deputy majority leader, Honorable Wanda Nicodemus Jamesi, majority chief whip, the majority chief whip, who is UFMP for Anglong. We have first deputy majority whip, who is Honorable Silas Daiti Tete, UFMP for Ada, and then the second deputy majority whip, Honorable Dr. Priscilla Friada, UFMP for Dome Kwabenya. They make up the majority leadership. Honorable Vixen, what is your review of the entire leadership of the majority caucus?
Okay, thank you, Mr. So, like I always said, Parliament is a house that takes out the oversight, that holds the executive accountable. So it's good that we have leadership in the house, so that at the end of the day, it's not be like one-sided house. So with the majority side, yes, they'll be on top of their job, their minds come, especially with the front benches, and yes, the credit goes to them, and we in the minority will continue to hold them accountable, to put them on their toes, so that the duty entrusted into their hands will be achieved by the end of the day. Because we believe that a government without an opposition or a minority will always feel that they're doing the right thing. So we are just there to just put them in check. But they're also doing a good job, especially since the majority that is the head of government business. I must commend him for his knowledge into that particular aspect. But I accept to say that that's when I say you are the speaker, like maybe the minority, you are not in your good books at all. You normally give them most of the time. Especially with the majority leader, he thought he's loud, so but just like with the minority, we don't talk much. It's like lions don't talk shit, but that's it. By the way, we have to respect the rules of the speaker. But I must come in for the second time again. But where they fought, you put them on their toes so that we fought and upright in whatever that they do. So I think that's what I have to say about the majority leadership.
And then review each of the leaders. What do you want?
Oh, okay. Let me start from the last to the first. So I think that will be Honorable. What don't even come to the house? I don't even know that. I don't know them by names, but they coming to the house. I don't even know them. But I'm a bit confused. But you just party, I'll just message them randomly. Honorable Gidi Evans.
Oh no, Gidi was part of the first. Yes, we have Dr. Afri. Yes, we have Dr. Priscilla Priya. We have Honorable Tila Tete Daite. We have Honorable Wanda Nicodemus Gamesi and Honorable Solomon.
Oh, okay. So let me start with Honorable Wanda Jamesi. Yes, is one that is very articulate, eloquent, and when it comes to. You see, you don't even know the position of your members, but so anyway, so one that is very eloquent and very articulate, and it also help to smoothen the work of the majority. But of late, I've not been seeing the house. I don't know whether you granted him the leave. So I think he's also doing well, but going forward, he has to put in much. But we all know that we have other things to do, but at least they be in the front benches. If they don't come to the house, how do they expect the back benches to behave? So I think going forward, the Twans should stop in the majority leader himself to. I don't know whether he queries them whenever they don't come to the house, but it's just an advice to him. So that going to Honorable Agbavo Salom, he is one eloquent and articulate Honorable, and he also helped the discourse of the house very interesting and interactively. So I think he's also doing well. But like I said, the same issues apply to everyone that the Twans is also becoming something in the house. But since we are a house of serious people, we don't tolerate that. But going for, I think the majority that should be querying them whenever they don't come to that, because they are the front benches. If you don't come at the front bench, how do you expect the back benches to do? Like what happened the last sitting that the majority that himself, he's the only majority in that particular district, which is not fair. It's an affront to parliament. You can't do so. So probably should work on that as well. Coming to he himself, yes, with his diabolism, it makes the house very interesting, and that's how it has to go. Devoid of sentiment, and you cannot be arguing or debating with sentiment. It makes you not to think straight forward. Just have to be open-minded, and I like that about him as well. So, he's done a good job. But if you are good, the members are not good, then you are a bad teacher. So kindly the details that whether I have not come to, or maybe just don't you play some kind of fluency, make sure that going forward into the next thing, they have to be on point, they have to be in time, no absence. So they don't come and create a gap for the video that we are shooting. You could see the majority of the seats, then 1, 2, 3, 4, there was nobody, then the other person, no, it doesn't deplete the house as well. I think the speaker, that's what I have to submit. Thank you very much.
Fantastic review. Majority leader, you speak less on your own leadership because you'll be talking more on the minority. You just speak less on your leadership. Then we'll move to the minority where you speak more on them. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The majority leadership will be the leader of the majority side. Me being the leader of the majority side is all exciting. So that we have some few issues that as the first deputy minority chief whip spoke about. With the likes of Honorable Bavasalom, since the second sitting of this parliament, he has not appeared anymore. We have the likes of Honorable Doctor, because we have permitted me to say that the majority side is the only side that has a doctor. So it tells you that with the majority people, intellectual, doctor, even speaker is not the same. Even, you see, absentee doctor, you don't know why she's absent. You don't know why. The majority side has charged her with her qualification to go and do research for the development of parliament. And the majority side has said, we don't know. I definitely, it is not a problem. Not be relevant with job. If that is by the way. So looking at Baba Salom, Nicodemus Wonder, Honorable Silasete, we can pardon him by virtue of distance because he stays in Accra, and sometimes he wished to come for the sitting, but issues of transportation and the like, sometimes he can't come. But he has been contributing his quota to the development of the majority side in Parliament as a whole. It's very important. The only thing I have to say is that the members who don't like coming for sitting, they should make it a point to continue coming for sitting, because like the last season, for example, I was one-man majority. Very, 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 very sad situation. But one-man majority is not a fear. One-man majority was able to deal with the minority as they are supposed to be dealt with. But that's just by the way. But that shouldn't be the case in a situation whereby we make the argument that the majority have their way and the minority have their say. If it was in the situation of the last sitting, then the minority had their way in terms of numbers, and we will have our say in that particular instance. So I can equally see that the interest and the commitment that the leaders started with in the second term is gradually going down. I don't know whether it's by virtue of that, because we have an Honorable Peter no true MP for catching up and being an NDC member because of my leadership members who are NDC members. They came because of him. I don't know why. Maybe that is so. I don't know. But if that is the situation, then I beg them that willingly they came for the position. So I'm calling on them to come to the house so that together we can put the youth fund as we are projecting it, because it's an opportunity for us to learn. Honorable Wonder, for example, is in 3 cities. Honorable Agbabasalam, also 3 cities. Honorable what's the name? Silas has missed 4 cities. Honorable Dr. Prinsla has also missed 4 cities, which is the bar is made for the majority side. So me, in my own argument, as I rightly said, for the second deputy speaker and then the clerk, the deputy clerk finance, if they want to, how do I put it? They know that they can't be able to do the work that they have been given. They should quietly say so that their positions will be taken from them and given to people who will be able to do the work and who will be present at all times. It's very important, because taking up leadership role means that you are going to, how do I put it? You are going to forgo or punish yourself for something, for some enjoyment that you have, because on a normal day, you should be sleeping at about that particular mature time. But by virtue that you are a leader, you are supposed to be there. And it happened 3 days ago. The MPs were in Parliament over the night. And when they spent the whole night in Parliament, some MPs who form part of the government communication team and as well as the opposition communication team were on Metro TV that morning after they left Parliament. On a normal day, they should have gone to rest and prepare for Thursday's sitting. That was yesterday's sitting. But they were all on Metro TV for the Good Morning Ghana show. It's all about commitment. And then because they have said to themselves that this position, I went for the position willingly. And I'm representing a group of people of which their welfare and their voice must be heard in all things through me. And then it is the same argument that we are having in the youth impact space. So I beg them, my people, I need you. Sometimes the minority want to bully me, but it's thank God that you have a very strong leader who is from Nigo, who doesn't care all the minority members all put together. When they have to be dealt, they will be dealt with accordingly. But notwithstanding that, we need the presence in Parliament. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much, the majority leader, for giving your opinion on the majority. I will move straight to the minority leadership. The minority leadership consists of Honorable Erasmus Ahiano as minority leader. Honorable Disability. We have Honorable Jesus Agbakode, Deputy Minority Leader, Akati. No, we have Honorable Godwin Yao Kwasi, the minority chief. We have Honorable Vice President Christian as first deputy minority chief, and Honorable Janet Ellen, and the minority, the second deputy minority chief. This is the leadership of all the from the majority. All the applause and everything for the majority. Let's hear from the majority leader. The review of the minority.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker in the House. Mr. Speaker, with the minority side, I must say that their leadership is doing very well, notwithstanding the runaway leader. You realize that the deputy minority leader, the chief whip, the deputy chief whip, the first deputy chief whip, are always they were part of the people the people that were celebrated at the last sitting for attending all sittings. So if for nothing at all, not something that you can take from the minority side is that if nothing at all, about 70% of their leadership is always present in parliament at all sittings. And that's one thing you can't take away from their leadership. And that is why 40. Deputy minority leader and just him, so just 40. But most of the time, the chief whip, he has missed 3 sittings, right? And that's just by the way. If we have same argument within the majority state, like I'll be very proud, like he will not have been having much to say about the leadership. Realize that the deputy leader, who is honorable about the Hubert, always assisting and making contribution in the absence of their leader. Honorable Barcelona Dixon, same. The chief whip missed some of the sittings, and then honorable what is his name? Koji always play a role to step into the shoe of a particular leader who is absent. With their second deputy chief whip, which happens to be Honorable Janet Eloma Gbajige, she has missed some couple of sittings, but we realize that at the latter part, the commitment has come back to normal, and then she has. So generally, the minority leadership is doing very well. Putting it on the percentage scale, and then performer-wise, as in coming to sitting, availing themselves for work, and then again, even looking at our virtual leadership seminars, the minority leadership always shows up at the virtual leadership seminars, unlike the majority side. So putting it on the percentage scale and ranking whose leadership is performing as far as their work is concerned, the minority side will take it ahead of the majority, as far as work of the leadership is concerned. Because putting their caucus together, though their leader is mostly absent, they still put the caucus together. So if we are having this same attitude in the majority side, I'm sure the work of parliament would have progressed than what we have currently. So that's why I'm calling on the majority side, me being as a leader, please look at the minority side. Though we don't watch them in their time, but in terms of their performance, let's look at them and learn from them as far as our work in parliament is concerned. And at the end of the day, I'm sure we will all be fine. So it is good. But their leader, the runaway leader, is very important that he avails himself at all times. Though he may make the argument that in his absence, his other members that are the leaders perform, but President Akufo-Addo cannot always be absent and then Bawumia will be acting in his capacity. It's very important. Irrespective of whatever busy schedule he sees, he should always make it a point. Unless he wants to say he's afraid of me every now and then and he wants to run away and leave his children on their own to bear the plight of my good self from Ningo Papon. So far so good.
Okay. Thank you very much, the majority leader, for receiving the minority leadership. Now let's hear from one of their leaders or their own leader.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Okay, thank you very much. Yes, the figure regarding to the members in the minority, for that matter, let me appreciate my gallant minority members. I say so because, like the honorable minority leader just alluded to the fact that we are always on point. When it comes to the numbers, we have it. But like my earlier submission, I said I don't subscribe to we being 100% because you're in a human institution. There will be some hits on the way that probably someone might not come. That's why we step in for your leader as well. So that is not just to say that we are perfect, but when you put us on an average, you get a good score over there. So, Mr. Speaker, so regarding to in terms of criticism in the House, we the minority, we always put the government in check, put them on their toes, do what is right in the interest of the people. They are not just there to seek probably their own interest or do things on their own. So far as we are there, and like I said, we are the gallant minority leaders, we will give you constructive criticism, not just iniquities anyhow. To tell you that yes, we are serious, we are reading and we are understanding everything that we do in the house. So basically, my minority, we are doing well. When it comes and it's good, we applaud you. When it comes it's not good, we will tell you in the face. It's high time in the minority, we will just tell the majority in the face that people do say we have our say and we have and do have their way. But we believe that we are doing our job very well, and that one they cannot take it away from us. So I think that one is good, except to say that some of my members are becoming like they are going to habit of not coming to the house always without permission. Sometimes I don't know for a reason that is best known to them. But I think going forward, we are all there to learn because when applying for the position, nobody forced you. You came willingly, and that willingness should be in you to come to the house because, like the majority that just alluded that you might not know. You appreciate this in the future. For instance, what you are doing, I've been telling my lecturers that probably the same gender I'm pursuing it's not the one that I'll have passion to do in the future. Probably I may divert, and if they see me in parliament, they see me surprised. So in school, teachers have so many things. Learn all the lessons that you can learn, the bad and the good, but make sure that you don't do fatal accident. Then you will be fine. So I think I encourage all the minority members to be serious in whatever that they are doing. The fact that you keep the school to learn is part of the ultimate goal, but you need to do other things as well. Be versatile, do other things to make you a complete human being. So I think what we are doing in HTU, you have does not have this opportunity to do with NTC does not have, EP University does not have to talk about Ghana Telecom. So we are very fortunate to have this, and let's take this good opportunity to learn very well and relearn so that when we get there, it's not that we are going to learn on the job. So yeah, I think that's what I can say. But regard to my leader, I believe you granted him your leave as well. Even though because of that, probably he could have also fallen into the soup of referring into the political committee. But I know there's an intelligent minority leader of which he will not just decide one day that I will not come to the house. So that's to tell that we are discerning minority members. Majority cannot take us for granted in the house. Like I said, let's all keep doing one, both sides, so that at the end of the day, where we want to go, we will go there successfully. So that's what I have to submit.
Yes, thank you very much. Well, as a matter of fact, the leadership, at least all of them have been able to take their oath. Because I would not hesitate to refer any of them to the privileges committee had any of them failed to take their oath. Yes. Well, we understand this a youth parliament, so no member will be exactly so constant. But at least the leaders must try and be constant at sittings because they are the people leading the front. So I think that should be something for the leadership to watch. The sitting that we'll be having in January, we hope that all the leaders would be available and all the people holding position. I think majority leader and then first deputy minority whip. We need to marshal our people and whip our people so that the first sitting of the second session in January, we have a full house to start the year. So I think we have to work on that. That's all I have for the leadership. We'll zoom in straight to the. I think I'd like us to take 7, 8, and 9 chairpersons and ranking members join the standing and select committees. So for the records, we have 16 standing committees of the House. We have 16 standing committees. We have 19 select committees. And each of the standing committees have ranking members except the standing orders committee. So that makes it 15 ranking members but 16 chairpersons of the standing committees. And then we have 19 select committees. So let's now talk deeply about the chairpersons, the ranking members, the functionality and activism of the committees of parliament in general. Majority Leader, do you want to go first? Okay, so let's hear from the first deputy minority whip, a review of the committee leadership and the committees themselves. I'm sure you are part of 3 committees. Yes, I'm sure you are part of 3 committees, 2 standing committees and select committees. I having chaired the committee on selection, the rule is that a member must be part of at least 1 standing committee and 1 select committee. And luckily for us, the 93 MPs composition was adequate enough to fill the committees. So let's hear from you, minority, first deputy, minority whip. What do you have to say about the leadership of the committee system, the ranking members, the select and standing committee?
Okay. So, thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Speaker, in regard to the various committees, let me start with this standing committees. As the Speaker, I must commend the various committee chairpersons for the various committees. They are trying their best because we are not a type that have gone to that area to study, but as students, we always learn, and relearn. So I think it's a very good call. Like I earlier on have submitted, we are yet to learn. That's where people will get to know how to write a full report. Until then, initially I don't know how to write in the lengthy report. But when I got to it will force you. Yes, you being a chairman of a committee, your members are looking up to you. If you fail, you also fail. So you have to put in your best to write. So it also states us how to do certain things that we are not being taught in class. I think let me commend the various chairperson for the various committees. Anything that pops up, they'll write a report or they'll give a statement they can present to the House about the happenings either in the country or outside the country, which they must be commended very well. And other committees as well, the same, except that those, if you know that you are not doing well, please, you have to double up so that your committee members will not feel like our chairperson is pulling us down or something. But you just have to know that you are doing it not to shame your committee members in Parliament as well. So you have been put there to deliver, and we know you can deliver, so you're giving them the opportunity. So I believe going forward, we all learn. And one thing I also have to say is that if someone does not know the way forward, it's a learning ground for us. They shouldn't feel shy that, oh, when it comes to me, our person that you don't know, that's why it came to me. No, probably nobody's a walking encyclopedia. So when you do it like that, then it will harness that kind of interactiveness in the house. Then we are all building ourselves. It always teaches you that, oh, if you don't know something, just approach someone that, oh, I don't know this, please teach me. So that at the end of the day, we can move freely. You cannot encroach that kind of timidity within yourself. If you do so, you cannot learn. You cannot explore as well. So going forward, we are all trying our best, and we believe that by the time you get there, you will know much of these things. So I think that's what I have to submit.
You are the chair of the
I'm the chair of the education committee. Yes, when I became the chair of the education committee, I think I gave a report or a statement on the current happenings in our various second institutions with regard to the feeding of what the students eat in class and dining. And I believe I reported to Parliament, and it's a bit of concern to us. But before you either be intelligent or you get your body form, you have to eat good diet. If you don't eat good diet, well, the essence of you going to school to learn is back to square zero. I believe eating good food and I think the government has listed, so they started providing the various SHS with food, not just food, correct food, balanced diet. Not that you're eating same food morning, same food afternoon, same food every no. It doesn't balance with that, and it doesn't make you think properly. When it happens to you, the teacher dieting the student will suffer. You teach them to have to do understand because they don't have that kind of rich mindset to absorb whatever I come to teach them. So I believe if you are an empty stomach, you cannot go to class and learn. So I believe we also thank God that we need this call. The government has hit to our cry and they came to the rest of the students. So going forward, this is what the chairperson of the various committee, like my committee education, has done, and we are seeing a ripple effect of that. So
your ranking member and secretary, and members, are they active? When you speak on the
Yeah. They're active, except to say that only a few that are not active. I believe if you've got the numbers to work with, yeah, you just have to work. When they come, they only come and read what you've done. But like I said, without some people, we are good to go. When all of them comes to, we are good to go. So, uh, but I just hope that all of us will just come and just do what is expected of us to do. At the end of the day, not it does not behold the one person that, oh, I'm the one doing the job. I know, because if I learn it for myself. So all of us, let's come together and make it very interactive. So that I want my committee going forward. Let's just have that kind of conversation. It should be very interactive. Not that I'm being a chairperson that don't make me do everything. Let's bring views on board so that at the end of the day, we'll bring a concrete report that anybody who goes to pick the report will know, yeah, these people have done a great job, but not any kind of report. So, okay.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Bryce. So for the records, we have 35 committees in total. Adding the committee on selection would make it 36. Adding the committee of the whole would make it 37. And then the parliamentary service board, virtually making it 38. Let's hear from the Honorable Majority Leader to speak on chairpersons, ranking members, standing and select committees. Honorable Majority Leader. Honorable Majority Leader. What do you have to say?
No, come on. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to speak on the committee system of the second parliament. You realize that, as I said earlier, we are replicating what we had in the committee system in the national parliament, such that we are operating the standing committees and then the select committees. Generally, all the committees are not doing any much work by virtue of the nature of how our parliament operates. But there are some key ones that frequently operate, like the business committee, the privileges committee, and then some select committees who occasionally present reports to parliament on a particular topic that is being given to them. So the other time, Honorable Bryce Victim, chairperson for Education Committee, spoke on the shortage of food in the senior high school. Honorable Adamu Osman, chairperson for games and sports, right, spoke on the World Cup tournament that was about to start in Qatar. That was during the third sitting. Honorable Dwamepo, what's his name? Dwamepo Innocent, chairperson for chieftaincy, human rights, spoke on the Tazan Festival, which is the Yam Festival that was celebrated in Ho and some parts of the Volta region. And we had some equally other chairpersons who presented reports. So with our committee system, is a learning process. It's an avenue for all members present in that particular committee to abreast themselves with a particular subject matter concerning their committee. So if it is a committee on education, research about issues happening within the educational front, such that you'll be able to report to Parliament as inscribed in our standing order the functions of that particular committee. So generally, the committees are doing good. Just that some few other committees have not presented any report yet to be able to verify whether or not they are on track. But with the ones that have presented their report so far, they are doing well. There are two committees that I'll give out to that are really performing the duties as they are supposed to do fairly as in the National Space Parliament. We'll be picking the inspiration from the National Parliament, not exactly though, but just doing a very small portion of it is the Privileges Committee and the Business Committee. Because the way the Business Committee works in Parliament is similar as how we are doing it, as well as the Privileges Committee. So they are doing well. Me being the chairperson of the the Business Committee, every now and then motions for debate and the business of the day for a particular season is being debated. Just that I've not been online for some time now. as far as social media is concerned. So the participation of the members, as far as putting together the business of the day is concerned, I've not really seen that much. But with the ranking member, who is the minority leader, sometimes calls me to find out how to go about stuff and putting together the motion for the sitting. So all good. But the only thing I can say is that yes, we are not doing the real work. This is to provide us opportunity to learn for the future. As Honorable Vixen rightly said, probably he has not learned anywhere how to write very long, detailed reports. This particular opportunity presented to him has pushed him to learn how to write long, detailed reports. And when he continues that way, there will be nowhere you'll be asked to write reports and you'll be running away from it. So I implore all chairpersons, ranking members, and all members of all committees to put their all in all. Because when you are a member of, let's say, for example, internal and external affairs committee, whatever constitutional provision that is being ascribed to you, you are to learn so that within that particular subject or subject matter discussion, you will show more intelligence and speak knowledgeably as far as that particular subject matter is concerned. And then if someone asks, where have you learned all those stuff? Will you talk in class? And you say, no. It was an opportunity that was presented to me by Youth Impact Parliament. And I took the opportunity upon myself to learn. And that's how come I'm able to speak very knowledgeably on this particular subject matter, though it is not my field of study. So far so good. So far so good. We are making progress. Yeah.
Thank you very much. For the records, the Standing Orders Committee equally performed this duty. When the standing orders were drafted, it was adopted by the first parliament, and the House was supposed to go through, but the House referred it to the Standing Orders Committee. And the Standing Orders Committee reviewed the entire standing orders through a public hearing that was recorded into 3 separate hearings and uploaded. So I think my committee as well is also the vibrant one. And then also, the Committee on Selection did a great job by appointing MPs to committees. That was quite a tedious job to ensure that everyone is in a select committee and a standing committee. So basically, we'll say that our system is functionable. It might not be 100%, but we can say that it is better than other houses. Now, members, they are getting close to the end of the review. By 5 o'clock we end. Let's let you 3 areas. Attendance. 93. We had around I think 87 MPs as of inauguration, and then by the second sitting we had all the 93. Let us evaluate attendance of all our MPs and parliamentary service staffs. Honorable Vixen, let's hear from you. A review of the attendance of MPs and the parliamentary service people, which is the clerks and the marshals. What is your review of the attendance of MPs and parliamentary service?
Okay. Okay, so thank you, Mr. Speaker House. Yeah, with regard to the attendance in the House, on an average, I'll say 50%, but it's not stable. Sometimes it decreases, sometimes it increases. But I don't know what sort of motivation is that. But that brings me back to members not being consistent. Well, if you want to achieve something in life, you need to be consistent. You cannot be doing it then at the long run, then you will break. No, it doesn't speak well of you. So I think members with the attendance, this thing, that means that should, let me read this to the lecture house. Does it mean that this is what they do in the lecture house? Because they are exhibiting in the house, probably if you do it and you do it for a long time, it can become a bad practice. So it's not good for us. You being a parliamentarian or becoming a politician, one thing people will have to say about you being consistent. Now, so let me tell them that going forward, the attendance should be more of 80% and above. It shouldn't be dropping, going up, dropping. No. So the point I have with my own members is that if you say it now, they will tell you, you know what I've encountered, what I've encountered when coming back. Like I said, when applying for the various position, no one forced you. And I believe you asked them during the vetting or during the interview. They told you I'll do this and this and this. But I think it's for them to be coming, not for us to be telling them, because where they got it to, they are old enough.
And your view on the putting out of 29 MPs?
Oh, that was a fantastic one. Because if not because of Ghana Parliament, like what triggered in Ghana Parliament that I said, okay, you should absent yourself from 15 working days. You will be booted out. Had it not been this surface, I would have known that there's something also called if you absent yourself for 15 working days.
15 consecutive
50 consecutive sittings. If you miss it, either your seat is being declared vacant or you'll be sent to the committee. But since we have, what's the name? Have voted 29 MPs out. It shows a clear signal that whoever that is watching us, wherever he or she is, yeah, these people, they are not just joking. And if you can put 29 MPs out, we are the first people in the whole world in Ghana to put 29 MPs. Even in Ghana Parliament, they couldn't do it. Even the one that with the three they are struggling with it. I think we set a precedent that yes, if you're not doing your job, you just put you out, because the saying goes that if you are a bird and you are on a tree and you stay there for long, it attached to. I think they fight to the stone and the stone has hit them and they are dropping. I think going forward they should have it. I'm not encouraging that they should be booting out MPs, they should be coming. And you yourself, like I said, it serves as your integrity, because if you are doing so and you are being employed, probably you can exhibit that and you boot your, and that does not speak well of you at all. I think with the consistency, they should maintain it and they should know what they are doing, because this future that we are designed to become whatever we want to be will be a nice place for all of us. Like I'm encouraging them, if they are old enough to know what to do for them. It's not for me to say that do this and do that. So we believe if you're at university, you are an average student, you know yourself. So, Mr. Speaker, and that's what I have to tell them. And if they continue in a good path, it will help all of us. Help is all of us. Like you said, next year we're going to visit the Parliament of Ghana. It is my wish that all of us goes there. These people are very organized, but not just a few number. And for example, as you being the speaker, how many MPs do you have? You have 93, then only 5 or 10 is showing up. It is an indictment on us. So I think other members should just do well and be consistent in whatever they are doing. And it will help all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Majority Leader, let's welcome. Majority Leader.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. And as Honorable Dictionary has already said, the commitment is all what we need. Even during the inauguration, we had not had 100% attendance. That should be telling us that we are not up to task as far as our position is concerned. After the inauguration was the highest number of attendance we have ever recorded. Since then, we have not even recorded up to 40 members present in the house before. All had been 20, 30, 20, 30, ranging between that particular space. And it doesn't speak well of us. Everything at this particular moment is a learning process for us. As I rightly said earlier, 3 days ago, the MPs were in Parliament debating from morning throughout the night, dawn to morning. The members of the minority side that were part of the NDC communication team were on radio stations and TV stations that particular morning after they are sitting in Parliament. They didn't learn it. They didn't get there, and then all of a sudden it dawned on them that, oh, this is our work, so we do it. They learned. They learned the spirit of commitment showing up at every meeting that they are supposed to be. Fine, there may be situations where one way or the other you will not be able to attend. Yes, that is why the rules are there. You ask permission from speaker. But one, you can't make it to the sitting. Two, you won't ask permission from speaker. So me putting out the 27 members, apparently those who are the sitting knew my stance as far as those people were concerned. Quick, they should go so that we have a new set of people who will be committed to the cause of the parliament. And if those people come and they also go in the same direction as those who were voted out, they will not even spend more time as this post. They will also be voted out quickly as such, so that we can shape the future that we want for ourselves. And that is why I always put the argument that we are not the future leaders. It is particular attitude that we keep on exhibiting. Because if we are the future leaders, going to take over the mantle of leadership from those who are currently there. And within our own preparation stage, we are not exhibiting any attitude that is promising that when we take over from them, it is going to be better than what they are doing. Then I don't think we are the future leaders. So our attendance is key. Our attendance over the last 5 sittings is very poor. And I wish to endorse all members that go into the second session. Even if not matter for the first sitting in the second session, if we can have the full house, I'll be very glad. So that at least if not matter, we can record that once in the second parliament, we have recorded full house, though it is going to be very difficult, but I think we can be able to attend. So far so good. All those who have been attending the session regularly, congratulations. I pray that going to the second session, we will not adopt for ourselves some attitude that will not be making us come for sitting, most especially the majority side, because I've always been one-man majority who have been dealing with the minority alone. So I need more battalions to work with as far as dealing with the minority is concerned. So Mr. Speaker, the attendance, though is poor, but we'll manage it like that. It's fair.